Hello and welcome back to the Auto Loons YouTube channel, and we are playing some more Gran Turismo Sport. Today we are going to be looking at something more race focused. I know that sounds weird when you say that in GD Sport you are now looking at something race focused, but you'll know what we mean in just a second. So we head over to Grand Central and check out a section which is not exactly a manufacturer, but it is listed as one in the game, which is the game itself, Gran Turismo. The car we're looking at here is a throwback to the F1 cars from the mid-1980s. This is the Gran Turismo F.1300 T-A. It also has a 1.5 litre turbocharged V6, as was the technology back then. Of course, in here the design has been a little more relatively simpler aerodynamic package as compared to the actual F1 cars from that era, but this is as close as you can get in GT Sport. It is a completely carbon fiber chassis and weighs at just 540 kilos, and the max output stock is 986 brake horsepower at a very sweet sounding 11,000 rpm, whereas the torque figure is at 658 newton meters at a slightly earlier 9,500 rpm mark. How this car drives around a track? Well, there aren't any F1 tracks in GT Sport. I'm assuming that's something to do with licensing issues. Maybe, a lot of tracks would probably be on Forza or on F1 or FIA's own games like Formula 1 itself. But we can take this one out on the Brazilian Interlagos track. Before we do, since this is a GT Sport game and it doesn't really have any association with Formula 1 cars of the time, so the liveries are quite limited, but still, interesting. So we are in Brazil at the Auto Loons de Interlagos circuit with the F.1300 T-A completely stock, and let's see what it's like. We'll be driving in manual mode and we're starting off in the cockpit. And you notice right away it has all these classic touches. It's quite 1980s. If you look at the cockpit view of some of the modern F1 cars during racing, you can see just how basic these things were, but still being capable of well over 200 miles per hour. First things first, this thing only has 5 gears as compared to modern F1 cars 8 gears, and it's a manual shifter. Notice that the hand will go off the steering wheel to make a shift. That's because the shifter is on the right side of the driver in the cockpit. Now it is rear wheel drive, and when you have almost 1,000 brake horsepower going straight to your rear wheels with 1950s technology, it does become a bit of a handful no matter how much grip you have in your tires with the race tires or with aerodynamics. It is a bit of a handful, and it is a little getting used to, especially with throttling feathering the throttle being a challenge on a standard PS4 dual shock controller as compared to maybe a racing rig setup where you can use pedals. Currently I have traction control enabled because without it this thing is almost impossible to drive. Prove that to this first lap. Taking it slow, taking it easy, just making sure we don't slide off like that. These things are quick. And the only thing you have is the rev counter and the turbo boost. Those are the only 2 indicators you have in the cockpit. Considering it weighs 540 kilos. The power to weight ratio is, if somebody would do the math, it would come close to around 700 brake horsepower, I guess, per car. And that's probably more than any car currently being manufactured. And this was in the 1980s. Alright, I'm going to take this chance to switch off traction control. We'll still have ABS, thanks to Gran Turismo Sport's assists, but this is how difficult it is to put down that much horsepower to the rear wheels with no traction control. That's what happens when you throw the throttle. So to get it from this view. And that's just what keeps happening. But this is a cool car to have like a Formula car experience in GT Sport, which otherwise isn't really available in the game. So yeah, we're gonna cut to a cinematic replay of a lap put together on this track, and let's see how it goes. Is where I usually sign off and ask you guys to subscribe, leave a like, comment for what you would like to see next, and check out our website autoloons.com. But this is a double feature with another Gran Turismo listed. Well, this isn't exactly a car. What we have is a kart. This is a GT Racing Kart 125 shifter, which is basically a go-kart in Gran Turismo Sport. Now, originally this thing was released in GT6, where you could buy it from Brand Central. But in this game, you don't exactly get to buy it. You can kind of get it as a gift card, but it's you don't have to do much effort for it. You just have to make sure that you watch the 2 video lessons in the racing etiquette section of sport mode, and the game will give this car to you for free. Now, what we have here is a 125cc racing go-kart with 49 brake horsepower and around 18 Nm of torque, and it weighs around 100 kilos with a 6-speed gearbox. This thing has more gears than a 1980s F1 car. Let's take it around a track, a full-size track, and see how it feels. Alright, so we are going to be taking this racing go-kart around the Tsukuba circuit, because it's one of the shortest circuits available in GT Sport, while still having some corners, and see what this quick little kart is like. We're driving an automatic this time. Let's see what it's like. So it has the shifter right next to your right foot, as you can see, the little golden knob there. And this thing is pretty brisk, clearly. I mean, how much do you expect from a 125cc racing go-kart? But still, the fact that it can hit close to 150 kph is quite quick, I would say. So there's not much of a dash at all, because it's a racing kart, so whatever information is relevant is on the little steering wheel in front of you. Like speed and some fuel and lap time. And yes, this thing is a bit of a handful for me, because I'm not used to something this compact and lightweight. One of the funny things about driving a shifter in the game is what happens when you switch to what would be the exterior view mode in a car. This is the time where you can really kind of check out your Gr.X Sport avatar's racing suit and helmet. You can just like watch your character lean in and out of turns and realize that, you know, it may be a kart, but it's not that tiny as it feels when you're just using the cockpit view, the driver's view. And you can actually see your character's feet work to brake and accelerate. Well, it is Gr.X Sport and not GTA, so when you crash, it would reset instead of having your character flying either over the fence or into it. Instead of switching to a cinematic replay of just me doing one lap around Suzuka circuit, let's get something a little more entertaining. Have a maxed out grid start with these carts for 2 laps around the Suzuka circuit in a race. Folks, that's it for this episode of Gr.X cars in Gran Turismo Sport with the Auto Loons. I hope you like that we kind of changed pace from usual supercars and concept race cars to just all-out track cars in this game. They're pretty interesting to drive. They're quite difficult to get used to when you know, compared to all the other cars in the game, but quite a good engaging experience, especially if you have a VR setup for the PS4. I'm guessing you will enjoy these even more. But that's it for this episode. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and to show your support for the series. Let me know in the comments which one you would like to see next, because there's still quite a few Gr.X cars to go. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and visit our website www.autoloons.com for more automotive content in terms of new cars, supercars, and of course race reports for Formula 1 and Formula E.